Hey guys, how you doing? It's already approaching 9:30, Sunday, Mother's Day, May 11th, 2025. Also approaching the halfway point for the month of May. Thanks for joining me here. And great to be here. I know it's, we can call this like a, I don't know, after dark edition of severe weather chatting, I guess. Whatever works. But hey, guys, thanks very much for hopping on here. And so, first of all, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. That was something I preached about this morning at my church. It was about Mother's Day. I talked about my mom a little bit, and I spent some time with her. We actually was able to cook out on the grill, had grillers, like hot dogs, potato salad and baked beans. It was a great meal. Then you probably tell a little bit I got sunburned. Played pickleball with the guys. We started a pickleball ladder league today. We would have started it a week ago, but the weather was windy and cold and rainy. So that was, but nonetheless, it felt good to take the court. But the next time I better wear some sunscreen. So, but it was great seeing them. So, why am I doing this now? Just been kind of tired. I've been kind of resting since today. But let's talk about some the potential for severe weather. And I've also got a couple of other things too I want to talk about. And as we take a look here, we're gonna take a look at the Storm Prediction Center as I pull this up here for you. Now, I want you guys to know that this is still several days away. But this is something that I was reading up on yesterday, along with today, and there's been some changes to this since then. So as you can see, we're already given a 15% chance of the possibility of strong to severe storms, and I do have the information about this here, and I want to read this to you guys as I have my notes here in front of me on my laptop. So. But this is what it says about this. The latest medium range model guidance remains broadly consistent with previous runs regarding the pattern evolution from Wednesday to Thursday. A significant shortwave trough emerging from the Intermountain West is expected to support modest cyclogenesis across the central and northern Great Plains, extending into the mid and upper Mississippi Valley. The setup will likely increase the potential for strong to severe storms, with the highest severe weather probabilities focused over parts of the Midwest late Thursday into Thursday night. Now, this timing aligns with stronger large-scale ascent and enhanced low-level moisture and instability. Now, the environment, characterized by steep lapse rates linked to elevated mixed-layer air, along with moderate to strong low and deep layer shear, should support the development of an organized convective system. Now, initial storms may include supercells capable of producing large hail and a few tornadoes, with damaging winds becoming the primary threat as convection evolves upscale. Now, as the pattern progresses, this convection could persist or re-intensify on Friday across parts of the mid and upper Ohio Valley. Additional storm development may also occur along a stalling cold front near the southern edge of the stronger upper-level flow. Now, looking toward next weekend, renewed cyclogenesis may develop along the trailing front across the south central Great Plains, where strong to severe storms could form near a developing warm front and dry line, fueled by increasing Gulf moisture and destabilization in the warm sector. However, forecast confidence decreases significantly by late Thursday into Friday and beyond. Medium range model spread increases, particularly regarding the speed of the lead trough and the evolution of a trailing shortwave trough from the mid-latitude Pacific. Additionally, the potential impacts of multiple days of organized convection add further uncertainty to the extended forecast. So when I was looking at this yesterday, it looked like Thursday was going to be the day that this was going to be a possibility. But now it's like Friday appears to be the day here. Now, obviously, 15% chance. This is day 5 of the possibility of severe weather. So we still got several days here, and details will be released in the coming days about this. But the reason why I'm doing this live stream now is to let you guys know, I know that the focus, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this is the weather forecast for the Fairfield area this week as we take a look here. So as we see here, Monday and Tuesday, those are the rain chances. Now, I'm not so far not heard anything about severe weather wise for Monday and Tuesday. But if you look at Thursday, mostly sunny, high of 89, that's going to be the highest of the high here for us this year. And already, playing pickleball outdoors, it felt good, but I know that we were starting to get hot and everything, and it was good that we had water on hand. But Thursday appears to be the hottest day of the year so far for us. And it's also a sign that it's a taste of summer. At this point, Thursday, you're looking at the halfway part of May. And so as we look here at Friday, we're already calling for, Thursday night, slight chance of showers and storms. Friday, a slight chance after 1 p.m. Not nearly as warm as Thursday, but still, though, a little bit breezy, though. Winds, gusting up to 18 possibly. But then Friday night, a chance of showers and storms. So what I'm saying here is that when you look at, I just showed you regarding the 15% chance, which is day 5, that'll be Thursday, May 15th, and Friday, May 16th. So if you have something going on later next week, especially Friday, I would definitely be just kind of keeping an eye on it for now. There's no need to push the panic button regarding this, but I'm telling you guys, we remember what happened in mid-March. We remember what happened in early April when we were underneath a 15% chance of severe weather, then eventually got bumped up to 30. So I just want to say that it is something that we need to keep an eye on for the latter part of next week. Hi, Carrie. By the way, if you guys are on the live chat and want to say hi, feel free to. But just want to go ahead and mention that. And also for the farmers, too. I've talked to some farmers here locally as of late, and the way we've had all these rains, it has really, basically, they've not really gotten out into the fields at all. So still hoping for a dry stretch of weather. And unfortunately, it looks like as we look ahead here to, tomorrow and Tuesday, it looks like that we're going to get some more rain. So I was hoping to mow. I need to do some trimming in the ditches and around the things at my house. But all that being going on here for, tomorrow and Tuesday, looks like it's going to be, I'm going to have to wait till Wednesday to probably do that. So, but anyway, let's talk about also too, one thing I've not talked about since I have been doing this here is that I know that we had a storm, a couple of weeks ago, nearly 2 weeks ago at least, that Wayne County, Fairfield, was underneath a radar-indicated tornado warning for. I did a little bit of a live stream about it, but I hadn't really talked much about it since then, as I've been busy and occupied. There's a couple of things I want to go ahead and mention about that. First of all is I know that when I saw the National Weather Service damage assessment survey, I pointed out this in another thread, and that is, there are times that I rarely disagree with the National Weather Service. Those guys do an outstanding job. They have saved countless lives over the years of their forecasting. Their technology is incredible, what they could do. They're professionals at everything. I know that there was a little bit when I posted the report. I know that there were some people on there saying, well, there was a tornado, and when you looked at the report, it did not say that there was a tornado. It said 70 to 100 mile per hour winds. And I want to go ahead and reference this here. I talked about the possibility of a microburst. And one of the things is there was a community not far away from here years ago that actually had a microburst. And it goes back to 2017. And I remember when this happened, but I just couldn't remember the year. I knew it was in the springtime. Let's travel south a little bit to Enfield, Illinois. In Enfield, Illinois, a microburst with 90 mile per hour winds occurred around 3:30 in the afternoon on April 5th, 2017. The National Weather Service said the microburst caused damage consistent with straight line winds rather than a tornado's rotating winds. The damage was most intense at the intersection of I'm going to pronounce it Haytes Road, Hayts Road, and Sheffield Road, where two barns were lifted off their foundations and displaced northwestward. The microburst also caused uprooted and downed trees in a direction eastward from the intersection. You guys can check it out on the National Weather Service website. I know that it was just days after that event I was able to see some of the damage, and I still see the damage. I still see a few trees that have been downed as a result of that storm. There's a couple of things about it. One is, obviously, we got to know the difference between a microburst and a macroburst. A macroburst lasts longer than a microburst. And another thing is, too, is that when you look at the winds, we've had windstorms here in the past. I go back to 2007, 2008 in that neck of the woods. Well, I know Fairfield got hit by storms that came in from the south, and it caused a lot of straight line wind damage. I remember working for the city of Fairfield in the street and bridge department at the time, and I remember I was doing brush route back then, and we usually did our normal route, but that day, so different. And it was like we were just going wherever we could to help clean up the trees, the brush, the branches had been snapped off. And I remember seeing even like down power lines, even hours like the day after it hit. So what I'm saying is that if we did have a tornado a couple of weeks ago, it would have been brief, and brief tornadoes are hard to pick up by Doppler radar because they're so brief, they're so quick, as I've talked about before. Another thing is, too, is that I go back to, 07, 08. It was one of those years, and I have to try to dig up some more research about it. But one of the things that I remember was those winds were about 80 plus when it came through here. So the power of the wind should not be underestimated by any means. We've had windstorms already this year that, you look at the damage photos and it's just like, it's crazy what the wind can do, but that's what happens. And also, going back nearly 2 weeks ago, at that time, we had already received a lot of rain. And so when you have the ground being soft and spongy as it is, you could take a good strong wind. It could take a good strong wind to blow it down. But I will say that if there was a tornado associated with that storm, then more than likely it was brief. I know that there was damage south of Fairfield. I know that there was damage at the Merriam Crossroads area. In fact, a good friend of mine, they had 37 trees down on their property in the Merriam Crossroads area. And so that just, again, I wonder if there was a brief tornado touchdown there, but it did not say that in the report. So I felt like with the report, it was kind of like I still had some questions about it. If there was one thing I would disagree with the National Weather Service on regarding their damage assessment surveys in the past, you go back to the Beast, the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado back in 2022 in December of that year. I believe that tornado that came through there was an EF5. Now, understand that I believe it was EF4 intensity when it hit Mayfield as an example, but it was near Bremen, Kentucky. I think that tornado peaked at an EF5, but that's just my opinion anyway. So, but I just want to say that, again, every storm is different. The reports are different, but I just felt like, to me, that report from a couple of weeks ago, I still have some questions about it. I do know that there was an individual that was injured from the storm. Prayers and thoughts of the individual who was injured from the storm nearly a couple of weeks ago. And in fact, I forwarded that in the report. It said there was no injuries. Well, that is incorrect. There was someone who was injured. I did forward that to the meteorologist and the National Weather Service. So, but anyway, as we take a look here in the days ahead, as I have the weather forecast up again, as we see here again, rain and storms today, tomorrow and Tuesday. But again, later on next week, that is where we're going to have to really keep an eye on things weather-wise. So again, don't hit the panic button by any means. Don't be concerned yet, but obviously just keep a watchful eye out for later on next week for the possibility of severe weather. And as we go back to this here, as we take a look here, already we're underneath the 15% hatch, and obviously still waiting on some more details, waiting on some more information, but certainly the Storm Prediction Center, National Weather Service offices, they are keeping an eye on it. So guys, that is about all I have here for you. I want to touch base on that. But again, though, always be weather aware, always be ready. We are in the active part of severe weather season, so keep an eye here on my Facebook and YouTube. By the way, I'd like to mention as well, I do this voluntarily, but if you want to support me, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Derek Dunn 89. I appreciate the subscribers on there. Already got over 90 subscribers on there so far, so you guys are rock stars. Thank you for that. Also, you can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/Derek Dunn, and also on Venmo as well at DRK-DUN. And so I do this voluntarily again, but any monetary donations, it goes to tech funds and equipment. So, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Mother's Day on this Sunday, May 11th, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And hope you all have a wonderful next week. By the way, congratulations to our area graduates as well. Congratulations on an incredible milestone, whether it's the grade school, high school, college level. Congratulations to our area graduates. We are so proud of you. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and see you in the next one.